happens though, when those people become your holy huddle and they have come to know Christ and you've become so insular that you've lost touch with the outside world, how do you go about then reshaping or not retooling, reshaping, but how do you direct people then to go outside from that?
Yeah, there's the Oikos, it's an interesting group. It's an eclectic group. You've got non-believers in your front row. I mean, you do, I do.
Yeah.
Whenever I hear people say after they learn this idea, they say, well, I don't have any non-believers in my Oikos. And I say, well, yes, you do.
You do. You just don't realize it. Right.
Just make a list. I mean, that's where it all starts anyway. Just make a list. Just think about it, and people can identify. But it's not just, and I call them pre-believers, not non-believers, because my number one gift is faith. So pre-believers.
There you go.
And then you've got prodigals. You got people who have fallen off the wagon spiritually. They're believers. They are Christians, I believe. I have them in my life, but they just aren't tracking right now. And they've let the world kind of soak them up and whatever. And then you have purposefuls, which are people who are walking with the Lord. If I was your friend, a good friend of yours, if you were sitting in my front row seat, you would be a purposeful. You would be somebody who is living their life according to the purpose God had given you. Cheryl, my wife, my beloved, is number one on my Oikos list, but she's been a Christian since she was a little girl. I mean, she's better Christian than I am. And so but I pray for, I still work the whole process with her in mind, because I pray for her. I invest in her. I invite her into faith conversations because I want her to continue to remain where she is in living her life on purpose. But then I included a new group a few years ago. I call them potentials, because God is always adding people to our group. When you look at the theater idea, and I may not be answering the question you asked, but maybe I'm barking up that tree. When you look at the theater idea and you've got these, let's say 15 people sitting in the front row, once in a while, God will punt one of those men or women or kids back 3 rows. He may send them back up into the balcony for a while. He may move somebody from the mezzanine right down into your front row seat. The Oikos is an ever-evolving group, which means you got to be on your game, because there's always just a window of opportunity. People move away. People change jobs. People graduate and go to different colleges. People die. I mean, this Oikos idea is not like God gave you 8 to 15 and that's your group forever. You might have, Travis, you might have, over the course of your Christian experience, you might have 500 different people sitting in your front row for a significant amount of time. And so it is never done. Our purpose is never fulfilled. And when I call the church to, the number one issue is the gospel. And the church makes everything, social issues, the issue. We make politics now. For the last 18 months, my goodness, politics have become the thing.
Yeah.
The gospel is the thing. I mean, we have to keep people focused on what Jesus asked. The only thing he asked of us, stay focused on that thing. And so when we look at our front row, we see, for example, a purposeful. What does praying for Cheryl have to do with turning lost people into saved people? Cheryl, my wife. Well, she's got her own oikos. I mean, if she stays focused, lost people are going to come to faith. Why do I want to bring a prodigal back? Because they are just wasting daylight here. I want to help them get back into a good spiritual rhythm of personal growth and focusing on personal mission, because lost people could become saved people if they were focused in that way. And so even the potentials, I'll find myself talking to the same person in one of the trades, maybe here locally. I tell the story in the Not My Church book about the dog trainer.